Hi, I'm LL from LL's The Truth, and I've been invited to Wednesbury Museum and Art Gallery because they've got an exhibition on. So our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents in some instances, came over and answered that call to help Britain. We're going to see some memorabilia, I'd say. Do you remember the decor of the 1950s, 60s and 70s? Who remembers the Hoover? Today we still talk about the vacuum being the Hoover, and that's a brand name, not the actual item, isn't it? I know that my grandmother was a really good cake baker. So our grandmothers were typically cake bakers, seamstresses. They were innovative, they had to hustle, they knew how to save money, and they knew how to prosper in the opportunity called Great Britain. Come again, let's have a look at this room here. One thing that strikes me is the lovely psychedelic wallpaper, the punch television, no multiple channels, just probably 1, 2, 3, BBC, ITV, or was it called ITV then? Who remembers? Don't forget, your households were not a Caribbean household if you didn't have the fish, the ceramic fish, and all sorts of ornaments that had to be dusted in the front room where you weren't allowed to enter. And the settee in the front room was usually for special guests and was covered by plastic. Do you remember? I know that whenever I went to my mum's friends' houses, and even at my mum's house, there was the customary cheese plant. Do you remember it? Anyone want to make a telephone call? Here it is. You didn't need a plan or anything. And for those parents who didn't like the fact that their children were ringing their friends and on the phone for ages, there was a customary lock put on there. Does anybody know how to get past that lock? Anyway, I've got a few friends that I'm going to be talking to, and we're going to go down memory lane and talk about the legacies, the generational legacies of the Caribbean.
Once upon a time, in the post-war era of the United Kingdom, the British Nationality Act paved the way for a legacy that would forever change the course of history. Among the beneficiaries of this legislation were the Windrush generation, brave souls who embarked on a journey that would define their lives, shape the nation they came to call home. The journey, however, was not without its complexities. The path to assimilation and acceptance proved challenging as they encountered prejudices and faced obstacles in their pursuit of prosperity. But undeterred by the hurdles, they forged ahead with resilience and determination, building strong bonds of camaraderie amongst themselves.
So I'm here at Wednesbury Museum and Art Gallery, and I've got a few friends of mine. I've got the writer, distinguished writer Sue Brown with me. She's won many awards for her depictions and conversations and insights into the history of black people coming from the Caribbean and living in the UK, and particularly Birmingham. But I also have a group of distinguished guys. You might know them as the Massiah Esquire sound system. Wow. So, Walker.
Hello.
Dalphus.
All right.
Wagwan.
Mention.
Hi.
Okay, thank you for joining me today. So, we're here at the exhibition that Mac 13 Soul Photographic has joined forces with in respect of the legacies from what's known as the Windrush era. There might be a few negative connotations to that, and justly there are, but we're going to concentrate on the positives because our parents, our grandparents coming from the Caribbean, they answered the call of the motherland and came to build up the country, and they worked. Sue, I'm sure you can tell me from your own experience of being a descendant of the Caribbean, came and they built the NHS, we went into manufacturing, we went onto the transport, and some of us came over as highly skilled people and took low wages and manual work as an opportunity for our families in the future.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I'd agree. And for many, it was only a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
There wasn't the intention to stay, but as things settled down while they were here and started to have children, and then people stayed, and you know, things happened, and then they got their jobs and they can finance and send money home.
Yeah.
And so that, I suppose that's some of the reasons why people stayed.
Right,
You
okay.
know, yeah.
So I've heard conversations about people, once they came here, it was cold
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
It was cold. And although the UK came over to the Caribbean islands and encouraged people to come over to this country to help build the country after the war, they weren't particularly welcomed.
No, I think they weren't welcome on many levels.
Yeah.
I think many ordinary people perhaps didn't realize that so many people would be coming from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And
They
and
hadn't
for-
seen black people before.
for
of
some,
them.
for some of them they hadn't,
Yeah.
especially up close and personal.
Yeah.
So, and then because people from the Caribbeans, their ways would be different, they'd want to dress differently, trying to keep warm with the cold and the snow and things like this. So there would have been a clash.
Yeah.
And Caribbean people are here saying, yes, we come to answer the call and we come to do the work, as it were. But for those who are here, I don't think that some of them realized what was going to be entailed. And I don't think that many of them realized how racist they were themselves, because
Right.
they're not in that position to actually see black people up close and personal.
Yeah.
And then you have those things where, especially when you have relationships, and if black men are here, because it was the black men that came first,
Yeah.
and then you have 1 and 2 little dance or something, or the pub if they were allowed in, and then they want to talk to the white women. I think that caused a lot of
clash.
problems. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're saying clash a lot. We don't. There's no pun intended, but it's just a
Oh, no.
word. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. But there were
We'll
clashes.
talk about clashes later.
There were clashes. Yeah.
So you've done some work really in a series about the experiences of black British people, particularly from Handsworth. We're obviously in Wednesbury, but the experiences of those in Birmingham were typical, you know, all over the country. And particularly I remember watching a very British history, the first Black Brummies, which you narrated and received awards for. So I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
And you were able to speak to some of those original people that came in the 50s and 60s. Obviously, the Caribbean, people from the Caribbean were actually in the UK before the 50s and 60s. They joined the army, but we're particularly talking about the legacies from the 50s and 60s and that Windrush area. Not everybody came on that boat, for instance.
No, my dad didn't.
Right. My grandmother came on an aeroplane. So,
My dad as well.
right.
He came on an aeroplane too.
What did you say, mention?
No, my dad, he came on an aeroplane too.
Right, okay. So I'm
Yes.
wondering whether they had to save for that airplane flight.
He was £75 back then, apparently. Well, my dad said that's what it cost to come on the plane back then, and that was like 1957.
Right.
75 quid to come on an aeroplane from Jamaica.
So I know that as black people, grandparents, parents, we're very industrious, we're creative, we had to be, I say we because
Yeah.
I feel like I'm actually speaking on behalf of my grandmother
course.
and my parents and those that are, you know, fulfill the criteria for what we're talking about today. And we had to withstand a lot of discrimination, but we persevered. Our grandparents, our parents persevered through it. And we were also a person that we're people oriented. We gel well with other communities, don't we?
Yeah. And
After the initial,
of course, and also as a people, we have to
yes,
find the resilience to sustain the pitfalls or the challenges or whatever. From the moment we're taken from Africa to taken to the Caribbean or anywhere in the diaspora, we have to find a way So it's already, that's how I see it. We are already in our DNA. Yeah, it's in our DNA.
And we're proud people as well.
Of course. And we have to make the best of what we have, you know, out of whatever we have.
Right. So there were certain avenues for us to get sort of a release from that tension. Maybe you were someone who came from the Caribbean, maybe you came from Barbados, and you were a skilled worker there, and then you came and had to do something that was quite manual or simplistic in your eyes. And there could have been a lot of struggles as part of that sort of lifestyle or experience. So music has a very in-depth, it's probably in our bones, I think.
Of course.
Rhythm.
Like I said, coming from Africa, it is there.
Right.
So wherever you are, you know, there is, black people are spiritual people.
Yes.
And so we lend ourselves to religion or any kind of religion. So we're spiritual, and anything that has a rhythm to it, because our heartbeat, your rhythm, your natural rhythm, we're going to align to that. So some people move into the church and then start clapping and singing. It's happening there.
Yeah.
Some people, I think Caribbean people are very good orators, storytelling.
Yeah.
Love tell stories.
Yeah.
Some crazy stories as well. And exaggerate stories as well.
Yeah.
So we all do all of those things. So that arena where we are together helps us wherever we are. So coming here, listening to the music of the time, I don't know, the Beatles or whoever it was, those were fine and that, but we have our own rhythm, and then we have to find that.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just coming on to the avenues where we could come together as a community when we're here, and you've mentioned churches was one of them, and also music.
Yes.
And the sound system.
Yeah.
So Massiah, Esquire, how did that name come about?
Go on, you can remember?
That name just came. I can't remember exactly how it came, but we was looking to build our own sound system.
Right.
Because we used to borrow Count Fire's song, which was an elderman.
Right.
We used to use some of his sound system and bits of other people's sound system, but we wanted our own sound system. So that name just, I can't remember how it came, but it just
evolved.
It just evolved.
Yeah.
It's really elaborate. It makes a big statement, doesn't it?
Esquire. It's a bossy setter, man. It's a bossy setter.
Bossy. Dalphus. I think it was something to do with you, Dalphus.
Yeah,
You've got
it
that
was.
little bit of stride. I can see you got.
With the attitude.
Yeah, it's with the attitude kind of up in your face kind of thing, and with that kind of thing.
And we kind of listen to other sounds, and we kind of like them and some of the names. So we kind of think, well, you know, remember Naya and other sounds. We pinched a little bit
from other songs.
Because we like listening to them, but we wanted to create our own, but be like kind of like them, unique.
So unique of ourselves. More than like everybody else, you know what I'm saying? When a man hear the name Massiah Esquire, is like,
Right.
The messenger.
The messenger, you know what I mean? Sound like a bad boy, that man them. Musically, that is. Yeah.
So I should have said that I'm known as LL, and you've got aliases as part of this sound system. So Walker, Dalphus, Mention. How did you get those? Well, Walker sounds like that might be a surname.
No, actually. No, I've got lots of different names. They've changed it that many times, and it just happened to be Walker at the moment.
Is there a reason?
Walker the man.
No, I just used to just write lyrics and used to say I walk fast, so then to give me the name Johnny as well, and Johnny Walker, and it changed from Johnny to Johnny Walker to Walker John. You know?
Okay.
So just stick. I got other nicknames, but I won't go into that.
Dalphus.
I think my name originally came from, it's still a song from Manswell called Massiah.
Yeah.
And because we loved that song as a song, before we had our song, we used to listen to Massiah.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably because of me, because every time Massiah played me, I was just trying to get these guys to come and listen to Massiah, so they probably think, call him Dalphus, guy just like Massiah. Because the leader of Massiah is named Dalphus as well.
Anyway, that's right.
So I think that name kind of rubbed off on me that way.
We used to call the Nikos at one time. Then it changed back to default.
There's another
So what about you mentioned?
Well, mine just evolved because I as well as the sound side of the thing, I also took up radio.
Yeah.
And I've been doing radio for well over 20 years, going up 30 years now. And that's all, and to be honest, it was a young lady give me that name actually. She said, call Mr Mention. Don't bother mention. And that's how, and it just stick.
So can I ask all of you then, so what are your first memories of the sound system?
Our own system or going to
sound system before you started as a sound. You must have been influenced. You know, how did?
Well, there was other sound systems before us.
Yeah.
Before we come on, there was like what we would call the foundation sound system, and there was like where we come from in West Bromwich. There was like a few sound system back in them days. Like our parents' days, 50s, 60s.
Sir Barber.
Yes, yeah, it sound like Sir Barber.
Lindo.
Count Fire.
Count Zuki.
Yeah, no, not yet.
No, not yet.
Lindo.
Pallian.
Right.
And a song called Gilly. And there was one more. There was one with about 6. You know what I'm saying? And they were like the original sound mans and what first come from the Caribbean and come and situated in West Bromwich.
Right.
And they built a sound.
Okay.
Everybody was sound, right? And like where we lived in that area, top of West Bromwich, and the front line, what we would probably call front line back then was called Beaches Road.
Right.
And off Beaches Road, you got like separate street, like Leg Street, Time Street, Hope Street, Jessen Street. And it was so ironic that some of these streets had some of these original sound man them living on the street. Sometimes you have like 2 sound man live on the same street, like Pallian will live over the road there, so Fire live across the road there, so you know what I'm saying? Then you probably go down the road down to Nicholas Street, you have Lindo down there, so now you probably carry on straight down to Beaches Road and you have Sir Barber. So, and all these sounds used to play on a Saturday nights.
Okay.
Before some of we was even born. Like me, for instance, I can remember when I was a little boy, like so. When I say little, I mean I'm talking about like 2-3 years old. And sound system I play in the house where my mother and father used to live in, which was like, well, that's I can remember, number 86 Beaches Road.
Yeah.
That's where I first like hear music, number 86 Beaches. Even though my parents lived somewhere before that, but you know, back in them days, the people used to move from rent house, room. That's right, and yes. And we end up in a 86 Beaches Road. And when I was a kid there, every Saturday night blues party keep there. And that's what I mean. And them times, well, that's what the music thing start in it, because them times the music used to keep down in the cellar.
One
room. Either down in the cellar or up one room. Somewhere, but one room. You know?
Okay. Can you think about your first experience of the sound system?
Alright, first experience of sound system was probably when I was about 15 or 16, something like that. But within the household, my dad was a musician, a jazz musician. So we always had musicians in the house. And we did have a radiogram. Ours was a region tone.
That's right.
The blue spot. So it was a region tone. And so they would have parties. To me, it seemed like it was all the time. But it probably wasn't. But they would last for days. I remember when my sister, her christening lasted 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and people left from there on a Monday and went to work. That's how they did it. So we had, they're playing the music, but they'd also jam with the music. So for me, that's how the combination of the two. So when I'm in my teens now, and I'd left home, then I'm hearing about the sounds of our age, of like Jungle Man and
That's
and those kind
Massiah, guys.
Yeah. So I'm hearing of those at that time.
Okay.
And but when I was when I was about 14, I started to buy records myself because I was convinced that I was going to it just wasn't going to happen. But I continued to buy, and then the shops like first it was
but Sue, not cutting you, but that was a good ambition to have back in the them days, being a lady DJ, because I don't think anybody even thought about a woman DJ or a man thing as far as the concerned. So that good ambition
very
still.
male orientated.
It was
very much so. That's right.
That's how I felt, and I was playing the music, and I used to buy them in the bull ring from Bailey's, I think they were called.
Yeah.
And then
Woolworths.
and then
Woolworths.
Bob Marley,
Woolworths.
Roots Narrator.
Roots, yes.
And then I went to I was working in Lazelle's, and I came across the shop Black Wax. I was so scared. I couldn't go in the shop. I couldn't go in. So much man them and then
outside and inside. Yes,
and then
right.
Fred, he must have seen me come there a couple of times and I waited outside. So he come out and he says, "You all right?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Come in," and I walked in, and everybody just parted. And I got to the counter, and he just said, "Every day, just come." And I went there every single day while I was at work, except for Wednesday, went to open them. And then I was working up there for about 6 months in that side of the city. When I moved now, I heard of Don Christie's, and it was nearer to me. And then Don, he said, "Well, you know, you come in here all the time. Do you want to work here?" And I said, "Yes."
Wow.
I go in. I'm just playing records for myself. He says, "So you can't. You have to pay it for the people." But that was nice. That was a really nice. So I was already buying records, and I kept on, and I still do, really. So my collection is obviously reggae, and that, but also jazz. I'm a jazz head as well.
Okay, so for the Massiah Esquire sound system, how many members are there in your sound? Because obviously you're representing at the moment.
Yeah.
There's about 7. There's 8 of us actually. 7 of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Did you say, "Come join my sound," or, you know, how did it?
Well, the one Inspector Lee is not here now. His father had a sound, Campfire.
Yeah.
So he was born in it.
Right.
And being together, buying records at school with him. And then another friend, he met up while I was at work, Gussie. So we always with the love of music and love of sound system, listening to like the sound.
So if I wanted, didn't I have to have a set of special skills?
Well, yes and no.
In order to be in the sound?
Yes.
What?
You'd have to have some records, because everybody then tends to bring a bit of records at the start,
so
or
that
some
you
skill.
had a good selection.
Yeah,
That's
good
right.
selection.
Right.
Everybody put the records together.
The record is your first tool before you learn to use mic and learn to actually play the thing. You buy your record and you get your feel of this thing, and then you have to learn to put him on the turntable and put the needle on him. So basically, you just hit the ground running.
When we was at school, when I was a music teacher, I was playing Tchaikovsky and Mozart. We used to sneak out of school, ride with bicycle, go out Black Wax, and buy records, Johnny Clark and them tune there, and come back to the classroom and take off Tchaikovsky, put on a Bob Marley, and the whole classroom lovely. Everybody I sing. Honestly, it was great.
Good times.
So
we were still at school.
Because I thought there would there be a natural person that would be the DJ and the MC, and then another person that would be a selector? Would there be a hype man?
Yeah. This man was always a mic man.
Yes.
I was never good on the mic because I'm shy. But me have better skills that me can build box.
Okay.
And me can organize and stuff like that. Mention is a selector.
Right.
He's a historian when it comes to music. Just like Inspector Lee, because Inspector Lee's father grew in the music, and his younger brother, so they then kind of owned into that. And we all just came with separate skills.
Yes.
All of us had little something to give.
Right.
Another man is like an engineer. He's very good at. He can take down this microphone, strip it, and put it back together again. So everybody came with different. And then Gussie is a man who is good at studio. He can set up a studio and record. And so everybody had the skill.
Yeah, because basically at that time, the music thing made you like bring out the best. Because nobody knew, everybody wanted to get at the music, but nobody never really knew what to do. But everybody just contribute, and that's right. And before you know it, use this.
I'm the mic man,
that's
and
right.
the selector.
The selector,
So you naturally slotted in.
That's right. Everybody
slotted
in. You know, while everybody's still probably doing the same thing, you might probably about 3 man. I say my mic man, but go to 3 man, only 1 man will be the mic man eventually. And the same thing with a selector, probably about 4 man play the record all the time. But you know, so as time goes by, only 1 man going to actually be, and that's what we learn the thing.
So there was a particular style really as well, because you dressed a certain way didn't you?
Back in them days.
Yeah.
But them times we dress better then than we do now.
Oh, absolutely.
That's right.
Because them kind of wear cut trousers, wear by material. We go to the tailor man, and the tailor man have to cut your trousers and cut your suit, and we had Beaver at Cecil G.
That's right.
Gabici. Pierre Cardin shoes. We actually look sharp.
Loafers.
You couldn't come out scruffy.
No.
Not like now. We just put on a t-shirt.
But that's why the name Esquire come to because
Right.
bossy man in the thing too.
Esquire,
When you see the
These
man
days
them
you say you
clothes.
were represented.
Yes,
Yeah.
man. When man are just top when man play them song and just say the ragamuffin and look proper like Esquire for you, like
right.
Esquire.
That's right.
And it was competitive, wasn't it? So you had your rivals, didn't you?
It still is.
Still is.
We had rivals in West Bromwich, our Flabber International.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
We had Virgo, Love International. We had loads of school friends, but they also built sound system as well. So every now and then we had to go and sort out who was the sound
Yeah.
and who was the trier.
That's right.
And I wouldn't even say, I'm not going to say anything. 'Cause I don't need to. But you know, I don't know. There's been some great sessions and great experience along the way, and we're still doing it. 50 years later, we're still here doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So these are the legacies, because all that started where the sound system, the way you select, the way you come over and tell a story, the way you, the lyrics, the whole vibe. It was a performance, really.
You have to entertain. You have to
And our
entertain.
parents came over with that.
Yeah.
With that. So even though they came over to work as a whatever, they come over to
Bus
that
drivers,
within
whatever.
themselves.
But still,
It was a natural thing.
It was.
You know, and so having the house parties, because if you remember, well, it is said that people couldn't go into the clubs, you weren't allowed, or you couldn't go into the pub,
That's right.
or wherever. So people, we improvise, or you come up with something else, and that's what they did. And then, again, coming to this country, my dad said that it was very, apart from being cold, it was dirty. It was dark,
That's right.
smog,
That's right.
because everybody factories and the smoke and thing. So the only 2 days that people will dress differently, definitely on a Sunday if they're going to church, because wherever the church is, and some people held the church in their home because
That's right.
even though the people were Christian, you couldn't go to their church, so they congregate in their own home. But then if you have your own place and you can, like you say, have a room.
Yes.
People are going to dress
That's
because
right,
you want to leave everything that you were doing for the week.
That's right.
You
and
buy the
different.
best. And then my dad said that he would say is black people bring colour
Insane.
clothes to this, because everybody wore grey and black
That's right.
and whatever.
That's right.
So they would dress up. And
Well, we
proper
already
dress
know
up.
that
And
fashion
we still do.
imitates.
Yeah,
Us.
the
we
fashion
still, of
of
course.
the
And so they came
Caribbean.
with that. They came with that.
Yeah.
And also they want to remember. So then, if you can get together and you can have drink white rum or whatever it is, it takes them home. It brings them
back
home.
home.
Yeah. And then people will also travel to the Caribbean, Jamaica, and bring back records
That's what I was
as
going to say to you.
well.
I was going to say that to you as well.
Yep.
So remember,
Yeah.
like a lot of them used to bring
back
back
records.
the record too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what would typically be on your playlist? I mean, all right, let me say it this way. Can you remember a particular event where you brought out a playlist that just done the clash or done the dance?
You're supposed to say there were many.
I was going to say there's that many. I can't think of a
That's
particular one.
right. You know,
Because it also it depends on the
crowd.
dance. It
That's
depends on
right.
the.
Depends
We
on
always,
what it was.
we always did, if we was playing against another song, we didn't really mind what he was doing, as long as when he came back to us, we was entertaining that crowd.
that's right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of songs we play and just play for themselves and not even look at the crowd. Whereas when you come to Massiah Esquire dance,
That's right.
if it's a ladies dance, we just concentrate
Concentrate
on
on
the
the
ladies.
ladies then.
We're not busy about the
because I
man.
was going to ask you what's your particular style, what distinguishes you from the other sounds?
The quality of the sound,
Well,
really.
the quality of the sound and the way we go about our thing. The way we play our tunes, the way the sound, the way the sound look. You know, we always try to keep our own identity. We tend not to follow others. We just create our own identity and make the crowd buy into that. And we just entertain them in that right through till whenever.
We were just privileged to to did have a good sound, because there was a lot of sound system around. A lot of them with bigger names than us.
That's right.
And we used to have like a small sound. We used to bring our sound into certain dances, and the other sound man used to be string up before us, and they used to be laughing at us on the mic and say, "Yo, Esquire, we're not going down the bedroom sound. We're the rest on the sound there." That's what we used to hear. But right time we string up that sound and testing 1, 2. Just the top section, we didn't play the bass yet.
Yeah.
Just the top section alone, them in
Quality.
just no bass, just the top end. And you so we play the bass box. We always, 99% of the dance we do, we always play a better sound than the other sound. Even if them have a bigger sound than us.
And even surprise them too.
Yeah, man, make them go back to the drawing board. And they used to come back up to us and say, "Yo, Esquire, on the sound, on have them few boxes and them 2-piece amplifier. I want to make it sound like that." And when you look at the sound what they had,
bigger, big something. Some big something, but the quality what was coming out was completely different from what would have come out of Esquire sound.
we always played a good sound system. No disrespect to any other sound system.
Yeah, true.
But you talk about Massiah Esquire sound, it is known as a sound of quality.
Yes,
It's as simple as
Like
that.
them say, it's not the man behind the tool that for watching, or the tool itself. It's the tool a man use, so you have to make sure your tool good. You know what I'm saying? So the sound had to be a good sound. It had to be there. Because like I said, it's not the man behind the thing and the sound.
So I remember, as far as I can remember, going and listening to a sound. I always remember these massive speakers.
Yeah.
And as a child, I thought the bass was going to come out of my chest. I just sat down and my chest was just thudding.
Pounding.
So it just brings back real memories.
Yes.
Yeah.
They used to call those boxes House of Joy.
Right.
Them big ones in Italy, they call House of Joy. 4 old speakers and all them things. See, all 4, 6 man after carry them things like wardrobe.
So where would they be kept?
We've still got some of those. We've got some of Cornfire's boxes, but these probably made about 55 years ago. But we've got them at our unit now. But if you look at them, because we was also thinking of doing an exhibition ourselves with those boxes, because they are vintage. They're not like today's boxes.
I think he made them himself as well.
Yeah, he built them himself.
Yeah, built them himself.
We've got some analysis, some archive where the boxes, we still preserve them. But if you look at them, you think, bloody hell, look at them boxes. But we've got a few of them.
So how did people know that a sound was going to happen? I mean, you didn't have social media, did you? So
no, a lot of the time, and this is the truth, a lot of the time we used to just word them out, and then them used to listen for the sound. They used to listen for the bass line. And so a lot of the time, if we was playing in West Bromwich and 3 sound playing in West Bromwich, you can identify where Massiah sound is, because the bass line is heavy,
different,
and it draw you in.
You have a rough idea where the parties might be, what streets?
Because it would always be
roughly, on the weekend.
And everybody
Just
had
circle around.
on the weekend.
You listen out for the bass.
Everybody, when Friday and Saturday night come, everybody look forward. When you want to hear a party, and everybody is having away. And just go around, word of mouth.
Also, you also wanted your box, your sound to have its own identity. A lot of sound systems used to have them box, and their box is black. Just black, so you couldn't hide them. But our boxes was always different. We always, you could come in and say, yes, it's Esquire box them. Because even though there was black, we used to have the red, gold and green. We used to have the shape of Africa, painted with red, gold and green. We used to have names on the box, but everything was in red, gold and green, and the top and everything was matching. There was nothing we could say we didn't get that from, because the tops matched the mid-range and the bass and everything.
What I'm saying is, when you look at the box, you see culture. You see culture.
Red, gold and green.
That's right. This is the black for the black
and the Africa.
The red, gold and green for part of the culture.
Africa heroes.
So the sound itself will tell you something before the music even start playing.
You listen to Jungle Man sound always had the identity.
Yeah, Jungle Man.
Janaya Esquire especially. Janaya Esquire is a sound where we rate, because they always give you ideas, because their box is always pretty. You look at the song, you think, bloody hell, that song look pretty, man.
The sound attack table before you start playing.
So we pinch ideas.
So we take ideas from them, and we say, something, if we're going to build a sound, we have to be look as good as them, and they are better.
Right.
But we just try to have our own identity.
So the original genre of sound systems was it ska? and
Yes.
early reggae.
Yes.
And then it transforms and
Rocksteady
incorporated
and
other.
Yes.
What other genres were incorporated? You
mean also just directly?
just directly including
directly.
yourselves?
Well, there was that thing with them have calypso. They used to do calypso, mento.
Yeah.
Then you have your ska, you have your
Rocksteady.
rocksteady. Then you have your reggae. You have soul too, because soul did not play as well. Like it's just pure reggae. You know, soul did not play too.
Lovers Rock.
Lovers Rock did not play the same way
And the
too.
rockers and the
And the
dogs.
rockers,
Rockers,
that's right,
yeah.
which revolves later on. Come up behind.
All
that's
of it.
right. All of it was.
So surely that should have encouraged not just black people to sound. Other communities
Nations
would
and-
enjoy.
Yes. Well, back in the days when you come there, you see white man come dance up with it.
Yes.
White boy come dance up, maybe one
That's
or
true,
two
yeah.
Indian man, you see, come
Indian
and
friend of mine,
one
yes.
or two African man jump in and want that. But to be truthful, when we was growing up and you go on a blues party and everything, you see more white people in there than the other nation. Them, you see white woman in there, you see white man. Yeah, but you always see more white woman than you see like the man them. And the white woman just like you see just anyway black man are playing music, the white woman them is just love to come there. Regardless of what them come to do or whatever, with them intention where it draw them in there, you know what I'm saying?
So it was for all people to
Yeah.
enjoy, participate.
If you come, you never get no racism. We never do that.
We never know about them something, you know. Even when white people come and dance
don't
and
bother.
enjoy themselves, we no business. And we want to see them jump up and then funny dance, try to dance the reggae and whatnot, and make we laugh and thing. And make we, you know what I mean? So it was all part of the progressiveness.
And so you could see the latest dances,
Yes,
that
that's
sound
right.
system.
That's right,
So
yes.
that sound, sorry.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, and that was part of the responsibility of the sound, was to whip up the crowd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's right, that's right. Get the crowd dancing.
Yeah.
And you make sure you have all the latest tune them
Yeah.
as well, you know, so when them come in, them hear them favorite tune. Cause you know some people back then, you know, when some people go out, you know, they never just go for just go dance and them things. Enough people go for their favorite record or their favorite tune. So they can dance with their favorite man and they can dance with their favorite woman. Because that was the power of the music back then.
Right.
You know?
But
That was
also,
the
it was
culture.
also about imparting information that was going on in the community as
That's
well.
right.
Yeah.
True.
So, because obviously in Jamaica in particular, certain events would be happening or different groups are warring against whoever or the government, and is a way to channel it and vent it. And sometimes people, that would be our social media then.
That's right.
Yeah? So the
Yes.
information that was going on within the community or the home or whatever
Yes.
would be spoken.
Through the music.
Through the music.
That's right.
Yeah, or the mic, or the DJs, they would
DJ.
write lyrics, so they
That's
Similar.
right.
The
sing
lyrics.
about their struggles on the microphone.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. And
Yeah.
then you have the politician them now
Yeah.
are going out for them thing, and the musician them hear it and them sing one
Sing about
record
it.
and
Sing about water,
that's
sing
right,
about
and
everybody.
whoever votes for and this and man
Water and Thatcher and everybody get lyrics.
But them time that the Siaga and Manley and Buster Man and all them boy, the back in the day,
Yeah.
that's what they used to sing about, and Joshua and them and them.
So it shows you how integral the music is.
Yes.
It's part of who we are.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Even without social media.
Yeah, yes.
Even if the social media died today,
It would
we
matter.
could still.
We still communicate.
Well, it's like for instance, when we go back in that history, innit, and the man them, the colonial man them forbid you to talk and all them kind of thing, or we used to talk.
Of course.
We start
Slap on the drum.
That's what's drum.
The drum.
Yeah, I mean, when they take away natural
still
take, you know,
do
we
that,
still, that's why we use the drum and still talk to 1.5 and 10 miles long the road. You know what I mean? And tell each other what I want.
Yeah.
And so they could never stop that. You know what I mean? Yes.
So I want to talk about a sound clash now. So you'd obviously have your various members of your sound. You'd have your selector, your DJ, and your MC that's whipping up the crowd. You've had the quality of the music that's coming through, but you might have what we might call a wire cloud. What that might be, I'm talking about the dub plate, because the dub plate, if I'm right, was something that was quite exclusive, wasn't it? And how did you acquire a dub plate? Or how do you acquire a dub plate? And what made it significant, really, the dub plate?
When you'd pick a tune, or probably a crowd's favorite tune, a rhythm track where everybody love. anytime a rhythm track play, everybody loves that rhythm track. And what you would do, you take that rhythm track and you go to a studio and you get somebody to voice whatever you want them to voice about your sound, about your DJs, them, you know, things like that.
But would it be somebody of significance though?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it could be an artist from
could be an artist,
Jamaica.
that's right, yes. You buy somebody to play for you and probably talk about Walker John, the chief of staff, or Mr. Mention, or this or so, and Esquire, so, you know, things, you know, and that's how you make your dub plate exclusive to yourself. That's what we put the crowd and make a man know, so you know, you have to go dig up your box and find your dub plate, your answer.
But that can come again.
That can come again. But before the dub plate thing come in, I did the normal segment, they do it.
And counteraction.
And counteraction.
Like different versions of the tune.
That's right, the one tune. You know, if you have 5 piece and a man they have 6 piece, you know, getting that clash on the one, chop on the one and that. You play your version one.
And you'd have to pay for the dub plate, wouldn't you?
Yes.
In order to acquire it.
Of course, the dub plate will probably cost you more than what the average, the normal 45 LP or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's still, you know, a fair bit of money. But obviously you need to mind paying that bit of money because that dub plate would be exclusive to you and your only and to your sound, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
And also I saw it as a way of, so say it was, I don't know, say Johnny Clark.
Yes, your favorite artist.
Yes. So say it was Johnny Clark and then you as your sound or any sound.
Yes.
Get a special from him, you know, so this is not somebody who's up and down in the same street. And then here's this Johnny Clark calling your name, your sound.
That's right.
Yep.
That's big.
That's
you know
big
what I'm
thing.
saying?
That's right.
And if he's singing a song, the same rhythm that you're talking about, but he drop some of the words and include your name in it.
That's right.
So that's ingenious.
That's ingenious. That's right. That's right.
That is, you know, and again, it shows you how creative we are,
Yes.
and how working with the artists, whether they're in the Caribbean or the UK, bringing them right home into your little space in this room to say, Johnny Clark is calling our song. And he's singing that big song that everybody know, but in dropping certain words and putting your name.
Because back in the days, you know, remember, you know, when an artist is singing, just sing about whatever in life experiences or what was happening in life or what going wrong.
In the world,
but when a man sing and never talk about this or so and Esquire so, yeah, a big thing that you're not hear, man. You understand? You're not hearing that nothing like that. No normal things. So when the man talk about Massiah, Esquire so this or so, oh man, I forgot,
and that's ingenious in itself because you don't hear it in any kind of genre of music.
That's right.
Reggae brought that.
Reggae brought that.
Kind of bringing the artists to the
do
listeners,
special.
That's right.
and specials.
Yes.
You know, and that's what makes it yet again how great and creative we are
that's right.
on those levels.
Because I remember when you know when we was younger as well too, and you know the bigger man them there play dub play, but we couldn't really afford dub play like that. Yeah, but what we used to do, we used to take the copy of a record, some favourite record, and just go in our white man's studio, pay him £5, and make him cut back the tune for you and put in some sound effects and all those kind of things. You know what I mean? You know, normally hear either. You know what I'm saying? And
So
when you
made
play
it different, creative again.
That's like creative again. And then I'm making, and then you know go up on the mic and you would have called your son name and the tune. So you know whether you was a Johnny Clark or a Big, you would have what it no matter. Even you
talking.
But the thing about it was when you hear it come out through the speaker box. That was the unit. Man, and it was good. And but that was like she said, that was the creativity of us even back then.
Yeah. And even to the point as well with say who can I say? So you have a lot of R&B tracks and a lot of soul or whatever. And then again in the 70s, 60s, 70s, they were redone in reggae.
That's right.
John Holt in particular. You just think, my gosh, and then you realise, well, he didn't write that song, or somebody else didn't. Ken Booth, all of them. So then they reinterpret it. and it felt like ours. And when you hear it,
Sound
it's just
better.
like, of course.
Sound like better.
We don't us know the history of where it come from. We should take ownership of that.
Yeah, of course.
Improve it, man.
Yes, we just take ownership of that until later on we go into the music and start really learn about music and where it all come from. Realize that we're another man. You know what I'm saying? But to be truthful to us still, we did still do a better job than a lot of the artists then.
Yeah,
the Beatles, them ever said back in the days, you know, we are singing about Beatles tune and Rolling Stone tune and all them kind of things and so on better. No, it's the truth. A lot of tunes, you know, you hear black man sing and you say, oh, yeah. And when you check this, Mick Jagger sing it first, Paul McCartney and them man, but like I said, we seem to just
When we put our own vibe.
Put our own vibe on it,
and just, yes.
But then, you know, when we were, when I was at school and then with Top of the Pops,
Yes.
if you saw a black person on
Yes.
there,
Yeah.
the whole world needed to see that one.
Yeah, jump
I was
up,
like,
man. Yes, man.
Alfie and Donna,
And
when they did.
Uptown Top
Oh my
Ranking.
gosh,
That's right,
that was
Uptown.
Massive.
But even before even girls as well too, when like you saw the drifters and them
Yeah,
man that
yeah.
come from America and you see them and
the way they dress.
and the way they dress,
And
that's
then
right.
dancing
And when
sequence.
the
Temptations,
and them all come
the
in.
Four Tops, them boy.
Yeah, them Four Tops and them boy them. What the other one what is the other? There's like
Stylistics.
yeah, Temptations them as well too. There was another one as well too. When you see them on top of the bus, you go, whoa, and then tell them an afro and then belly bottom and them and the black collar shoes, whoa.
But that's how we influence each other.
That's right, yes.
Because there are certain cultural traits about us. Definitely style,
Yeah.
Yes,
pattern,
of
dress.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
Those things matter.
That's right.
So even
When
if
there
you're
was
so
music, there was
whether-
food, wasn't
Yes.
There's always
man.
to be and
Andrew.
They go hand in hand.
Yes.
the little shot glass that our parents
Yes.
used to have in
there? And the white one, sorry.
Yes. And then, like you say, I can't see none of the safe. But you look at glass and we have the cabinet. You can't see the cabinet. But you look at shot
Miniature glass them,
You
yeah,
can
shot
miniature
glass.
I mean, you're looking around, there's certain things within this room that bring me back. That
Yeah.
cheese plant,
Yeah.
that was always in somebody's
Yep.
home.
Yes. My
The
dad.
ceramic
That
fish.
fish. The fish.
The big fish pan the telly top.
Yeah. What's it
Right
there?
behind
See the behind
And
it?
you can't touch him. You can't
You
touch
couldn't
it.
touch
Oh
them.
yes, you know.
You couldn't touch
And
him.
you remember the dog?
Yes, that, yeah.
Yeah.
Those of us who did have father and car and things, they put the dog at the back
Back.
with the
Yeah,
cushion
yeah,
them
yeah.
and the dog.
And
Oh
the
yeah, because
plastic
that's
flowers
see
that
them
are-
nice them car.
Yeah.
Even the car them nice up with the cushions and the
cushion
things.
on the back.
Crochet.
Yeah, and
The
the
crochet.
dog,
This is
crochet.
what's missing off here.
Yeah, the
Crochet.
crochet and things.
Things there.
My mother was a good crochet lady. My mommy could have crochet good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could have crochet good and starch it up. So till it's sharp. When she put on the crochet up on the table, you know, the corners stiff. Coming out of the razor.
Yeah.
When we come in, when they just sit down, you used to watch your mommy slowly two little
But trying to tie so for us now on a Saturday, we'd have to clean the front room. Well, the room wasn't so much a front room, but and trying to clean those without breaking them.
Yeah, could block them.
Yes.
We had a cabinet. It was a three-sided
glass.
cabinet with a clock in the middle.
in the middle. Oh,
And me and my
cabinet.
sister were playing,
Yes.
and I was about 5, I think, and I threw something at her. The whole side of the cabinet just
Wow.
Trouble.
I didn't know. My dad wasn't there, so I just thought, well, all right. So clear up everything, and then I had to beg my sister not to tell, because she would have told him as soon
Straight
as he
away.
walked through the
Straight
door.
away.
So we clear up everything, and then there's a big chair, and I push the chair like in front of
Again,
it. So you
try
could-
hide it.
Yeah, just so that nobody could tell. Oh, my dad spot that before he even came in the house.
The eyes are sharp, you know, when you have
Yep.
something wrong.
Because those, so the whole side of the cabinet just went.
And not only just as well, back in them days, you know, with parents, them seem to have this sharpness, this awareness that them would go out and left within the house, and they can't go back in the house and tell us, wait.
Oh, that move.
Oh,
that move.
You could because them
Straight away, them know.
straight away them coming, you know, then they could tell say that something they move from this or somebody going this or you know what I'm saying, and the spots.
Nothing missing.
Nothing couldn't go missing. That's right. If anything go missing, they
Can't
must
miss them,
that's
no.
right. Anything broken, you try hide it, they must spot it.
Right.
They were
And
very
let's not
good
go
at
into
that.
the punishment. Right?
When you know what happened this way.
So the sound system, the main cities back in the day were usually London, Birmingham and Bristol.
Yes.
So I would imagine that there would be clashes on a city base. back in the day?
Town, cities, wherever the sound them come from.
So you've named some of the sound systems I've heard you
back
say.
in
Back in the day.
Well,
who do you remember?
Remember a lot. Quaker City, Mafia Tone, Palian, Count Fire,
Zion
Batman, Zion Don't Beat,
Jungle Man,
Jayut.
So who would you say were your main competitors or?
Our competitors?
When we were growing up.
Them were before us, really.
Yeah, them was before us, but we have to talk kind of.
Our competitors,
because of different era.
Yeah.
From them, obviously you can't talk about our era without you talk about them and because they set the thing.
Of course.
I mean, they were the original influences, what we was.
There was so much competitors at the time, but because there was so many, you didn't always clash with them because you couldn't to get together.
Right.
There's some lot of songs out there now, even though we come from the same era, we didn't play with them.
Right.
Because they was doing something else and we was doing something else, and we're on different paths. But the songs them was at the round at the same time.
Yeah.
But they was just doing different things. But clashing, a lot of songs tried to clash with Massiah Esquire.
Yeah.
A lot of them did. And we never went out looking for clash. We was really a clash song. We was more of an entertaining song. But if a clash came to us, it never really last long.
Yes, right.
It didn't really last long. And even when sometimes we'll forget we never dub box. We're on the dub plate. And our son say, you know something, Squire, we're gonna kill you now. and everything, we're not playing no more dub, no more 45, everything is strictly dub plate. And we used to say, listen, you do what you're doing. We just have to play some brand new tune from now till morning.
Right.
And by the time we are playing full tune, they just stopped playing the dub plate, because dub plate was just boring. You want to play dub plate and the crowd is not really with you. But for 45, them is touching the crowd every time.
And that was a good strategy.
Yeah, man, we never worried about the song.
Even though,
with vinyl box is always there.
Strong.
Always strong. We never worry about a sound.
And still is. Even today, it still is.
And you know the great thing. The great thing about a sound system today now, we can be called to do a christening for a 8-month-old baby, right up to a 90th birthday party.
You can come do it.
Yeah, right through.
Yeah, I was going to say that because you'd have it in the 9 nights.
9 nights, funerals.
That's right.
So what was the 9 nights about then?
The last one?
When you say
what is 9 nights? So
like when somebody passed away. From the time they passed away, it's 9 days. Yes. There's 9 days too. On the 9th day, then keep.
Everybody comes together.
Because back in the day, like now, in this day and age, it kind of slightly changed now. But back in when we grew up with the parents, 9 nights, everybody are come. For 9 nights straight. And everybody will bring them pot, everybody will bring them this, everybody will bring them that. And we've got something contribute. And everybody have a nice night. Full them belly drink, junk talk
about the
person and all those kind of things. That's right.
Pray and them
till the morning, and then you go over your yard and you do it all over again for 9 nights.
It was too much.
I mean, back then time it was kind of alright because everybody used to love that side of things and everybody used to contribute.
Yeah.
Now if you have a 9 night, no,
you get bigger.
This time, no, it get big. And it costs enough money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
There's a lot more community people around, more black people.
That's right.
Too much people.
Yeah, too much noise, so now it's,
And our work and commitments. Things change, times change. Times change. But they still have the 9 night.
They still have the 9 night. It might not be 9 night as it is.
Consecutively.
That's right. But we still have
a 9
night for the person. Everybody come together and food, drink, music, play and
so the sound system is still relevant
today. Yes, of course. The sound system. Yes.
And we've had some past members who passed away. And because of them, their absence, we have to raise our bar. We have to be there for them
as well.
Because them man, there was, the contribution was them. If they're still around, they'd still be there. So because of them, man, it kind of give us a push. Because we have to continue for them as well, not just for ourselves.
As you talk about the sound system game, it's like a family.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody involved, whether past, present, or whatever, and you know, just like a family.
And it continues.
That's right.
Because family, your children,
hopefully we carry on. That's right, etc., etc. Yes.
There be fallouts and everything. Everything is like a family. Just like a family.
Yeah.
And a good time.
Yeah. But the music always bring back everything, you see.
Yeah, man.
Fix back everything.
Fix back always do.
The music always fix back everything, no matter what.
Right.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's really important that this culture continues, and we can see influences around sort of the MC and the selection in other sort of genres of music.
Of course.
Not just in Britain, but globally.
That's right.
So, hip hop was, for instance, started by a Jamaican.
That's right.
And that toasting and
Yes.
you know the actual depicting of life.
We used to call it toasting. Mic chanting.
Yes.
And the youngs them tease it.
A black man brings somebody.
What we say, like, you know, them take it and
they bring it to level.
it even further. Even though we have our style, the Jamaican, their style like hip hop, what we call toasting or whatever, them call it hip hop. And obviously because it rhymes, everything is like a poetry thing with them, the hip hop thing in it, so it's another. You know what I mean? But the black man them write it in America.
The origins is from us,
It's still, you know, it's just a different genre of music again.
But the music continues to evolve, because even back in the days of jazz, the man them would chant
poetry as well.
That's right.
As well. So again, it's something, the oratory, it's about the oral tradition, us telling our story, documenting our story to a rhythm. And I was listening to something the other day, and actually I found an album, and it's a Japanese album. I have no idea where I got it from, but I think it's a reggae DJ. So I can't remember what's the name of the sound, or whoever they are from Japan. And you know, so Japan and they
love the reggae.
Yes, of course.
From day one. Chinese and Asian, because the Bangra taking the rhythms as well.
Them as well.
So it influences everywhere across the universe.
That's
really.
Reggae.
And you know, from that small growth of wherever we are placed, we have to make the best of it. And I suppose on that journey from Africa to the Caribbean to the Americas, and then we create something to hold on to as a because all of this is about memory.
Of course.
It's holding on
to that memory.
Of course, it is. 100%.
DNA. Trying to, you know, and then it becomes part of the wider community.
That's right.
But it's things like this now is about remembering. Remembering who we are and what we have contributed, because sometimes we forget.
That's right.
True.
We forget, and we think it's not, because we think
We think
but
it's not
it's
really
massive.
That's
Look
right.
at the world.
Reggae
music
right around the world.
That's right, and because reggae music
I'm a
around
small
the world,
island.
we help other cultures and other people to accept certain things where they probably wouldn't even want to accept, because, you know, but when they listen to reggae music and they listen to the words in the reggae music, them can relate. I mean, no other than say Bob Marley, for instance, I'm the number one. You know, when they talk about Bob Marley, you go the North Pole and say Bob Marley, and that's it.
There's a person on earth.
You don't know Bob Marley, that's right.
And then the music carried Rastafari.
Right, that's right.
Rastafari link with the reggae music.
That's right.
And you know, just took it
to the next level. And take it to where they know.
The message.
Take it to other people culture that them start wear locks too. Even if they don't know about Rastafari or whatnot, them take on their identity. And then them go through the preliminaries and they take listen to the reggae music and then hear the words and then. So reggae music is.
It's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. It is.
It teach some of the Europeans what we go through, because some of them never know it.
That's right.
When they made the music, they learn themselves.
That's right.
That's right. And build sound themselves.
And our
sound.
parents as well, in the early days when we were growing up now, and then for some people saying Rastafari, or they're listening to this, being part of the sound system. Our parents are on a different level, because they're here to work. They hear the looking that you go to school, get a little certificate and whatever.
That's right.
And they didn't see the significance of the sound system, not in that way. On a entertainment side, definitely.
Yes.
Yes, it's part of. But to say where you're going to go in life with that,
That
was a different,
career.
that was a different thing. So that brought a clash between
That's right. Parents,
and
generations and things
which
like
always
that.
happens any
Of
generation.
course, of course.
But now, many of those elders who run their children from out of their house because they had nothing, who didn't like certain music.
That's right.
Now, when they hear them, everybody see them
them
first
are-
get to dance.
And saying that as well, so you even remember when you look back to some of the songs where our parents used to jump up to. A lot of them was Rasta music.
As well.
They
love them so much.
You understand me? But yet, then they,
They never want.
That's right. When they see we are like drawn to it, they never want. But yet, they did listen to Rastaman music long time before we born constantly.
But I don't think they saw it in that kind of way.
No, you're right, 100%. But I just
totally different.
Elaborate that as well. So, well, in a kind of way, there was a bit of a hypocritical weren't there because
them listen to it.
Because them listen to it and I jump up to it and all those kind of things. And when we come now and we start jump up to it and start weigh the locks and everything, it's like, yes.
But it was alright, jumping up to it, but don't know why I have the locks.
That's right. Yes.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. You know what I'm
Because you in England.
saying? We're in England when you're supposed to do them thing there.
That's what it was.
So I think the conclusion really is that in respect of our culture and the music, it was cross-generational. It crossed many borders and influenced worldwide, whether that be in the fashion, the language you spoke, the sound that was portrayed, and the artistry that came from it.
That came from it as
And
well.
there's permeations throughout all music genres that stem from the sound system and the characteristics of the sound system.
Yes.
And we should feel good about it.
Of course, because without the sound system, a lot of us wouldn't be where we are now.
That's right.
Not only just because we have sound system, but just because the way we portray our life and how we live and all those kind of things. The sound system helped to model those things as well around us. Wow. And also, teach us things and make us more wiser to a lot of things. So it
kept us out of trouble. Just imagine our youth days without going to dances. Without take out the dances out of it. What the school days, but how would our young days be like?
Because it's different with today's generation.
It was a healthy distraction.
That's right. Yes. Today,
It's a different thing. But this is their generation now, so they're going to come with something different. One of the things I think about sound system also, talking about the sound clash as well, is the connection with the Caribbean and Britain. So when those different soundmen came here as well, so it's replenished each side. Because you're going to learn something. They're going to try out something different. They're learning the UK way of doing it.
That's
You're
right.
hearing more about the yard way
Yeah.
So it kept everyone together, joined together.
With that perspective.
Yes.
Because like for instance now, when they had like what was known as the ska era, it's like the European man take up that for him thing. You know what I'm saying? And when ska, like back in the days, we go on with the major clubs and all them kind of thing there. All the European man and the white man, them and the white girl, pure scared them and jump to them.
Them still love it now.
Of course, them still love it. And them have they had their own fashion as well too. Like the mods and all them to dress and all them things. And skinhead them with the boot them and all them things.
I didn't get the skinhead thing. So how come?
Go on.
I didn't understand how
I never understand
they were skinhead.
For a while.
So they didn't like us.
But then the music.
But you know what that was about? What it was with the skinhead thing. You had like the genuine white boys, them what was into the reggae thing, yes, and then you had some of the white boys, them who was skinheads, who was National Front, and in the thing too, and that's why when you say you couldn't understand all them, and all of them was racist, only a few of them, but remember they were doing.
That's the way them dressing.
That's right. That's the way them clothes. That's right, and then you know. That's how they used to.
It's just remarkable just hearing you talk about that mention, how just our parents can divide us.
Yes.
But when it comes to music, it
Yes.
just brings everybody
That's right.
together.
Yeah, that's even the racism too.
The one.
Right.
Yeah, everybody
Whether
coming
it be the beats, the harmony,
that's right.
the actual message
That's right.
brings
Bring
people together.
That's right. That's right.
Which is what it should do.
Yeah.
That's what it should do. And you know, you can even go right back to even back in America as well too. And music bring a lot of them youngs together. You know, the jazz and the you know, the rhythm and blues and all them things. Because remember, you know, one of the times in America, you know, when the man is a lick rhythm and blues, the man they want to ban it. When the man saw the white people jump up and go on and you. They said no.
Then you have people then came like Elvis Presley because they take
when you
teach a bit of it now.
That's right.
And it does. I suppose people are inspired by it, so
That's
they want
right.
to take it
Yes,
on.
of course.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And then I think it's fair enough.
Yeah.
But we also need to remember
Where
who
come from.
originated.
Who originated from? That's
Yeah,
right.
where come
All
from.
of them. That's
Yeah.
right. All of them. Don't
In
matter what anybody
everything.
wants to say. All of them, Beatles, Rolling Stone, all of them, they took it from us first. And because obviously when we did that do it, they never want to give you the power and the glory. So when them do, them one kind take it and come bring it to the world and turn famous and raise money and turn whatever.
Kind of royalties and everything like that.
You understand me? I'm saying that's how all that come up. But at the end of the day, we don't really mind because we know where it all come from.
Well, we
And
do
we're
mind.
proud.
We
do mind.
deserve to get
Yeah, we
deserve
deserve
to
to
get
get
knowledge. But remember, say, you know, we've been going through these things for so long that we used to. But amongst ourselves, we're proud of our achievement. We're proud of what we've given to this world. And we are so proud to know so nobody cannot tell we say don't go so. You know what I'm saying? So
I know why you're called Mention.
You know, no.
I know. So I'm going to say we can
Or even-
talk about this subject forever, can't
you
we?
can, that's
Yeah.
right.
And it's been really, really lovely and nostalgic. Just hearing you talk about the sound system
Yes.
and obviously Sue Brown, your
Yes.
knowledge and all the work that you've done in making sure that Black Britons are represented and acknowledged in respect to the struggles over the decades. Thank you for that. So Walker,
And thank you as well, because you're now part of that as well.
I am, of
You are
course.
documenting
Of
our
Yes, that's
story.
right. Yes, that's right.
yes. So Walker, Dalphus, Mention, and Sue. Thank you.
Thank
it was
you.
lovely
Thank
having
you.
this conversation.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
indeed.
Mandy.
So the history of the sound system in Britain is a testament to the resilience, creativity and cultural impact of the Caribbean, not just in the UK but worldwide. Our music, food, our dress, our features, our language and our excellence are an integral part of the fabric of multicultural Britain, a proud and significant contribution.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.